If you're ready to explore the Hebrew roots of your Christian faith, then grab your Bible and let's get started. Welcome to Reconcile the Kingdom. We're working towards becoming a harmony, the whole word of truth. And my name is Patrice Robinson. As always, I appreciate your support by stopping by on today. A recap from last week. Last week, we discussed the second and the third day of creation. The second day, we was focused on the firmament, which is a vault in heaven that holds the water that was separated and is above, and then of course we have the water here below, but we're not able to see the water in the vault, but we are able to see only the heavens and the sky. The third day we covered how Yehovah began to bring forth the plants, the grass, and the herbs for food for the animals and the people. As we continue, I need all of us to pay close attention to what is created for each day. I hope you have your Bibles before you, because we are in Genesis chapter 1 verses 14 through 23. And I'm going to jump right on in and read, starting with verse 14. And Elohim said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night. Let them be signs, and for seasons, and for days and years. And let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth." And it was so. And Elohim made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made the stars also. And Elohim set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and the rule of the night, to divide the light from the darkness. And Elohim saw that it was good. And in the evening and the morning was the fourth day. And Elohim said, "Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that hath life, and fowl that may fly above the earth in the open firmament of heaven." And Elohim created great whales and every living creature that moveth, which the waters brought forth abundantly after their kind, and every winged fowl after his kind. And Elohim saw that it was good. And Elohim blessed them, saying, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the waters in the seas, and let the fowl multiply in the earth." And evening and morning was the fifth day. So today we're going to cover 2 days of creation, and that is the fourth day and the fifth day. So let's take a look of the fourth day. On the fourth day, Yehovah put lights in the light that he called day, and lights in the stars in the night for light on earth, which he created on the day, on the first day. So in other words, he created light, 2 greater lights, one for the day and one for the night, to be placed in the firmament for the light. The same light first day he said there was light, so he put light in the firmament for the day. These lights were markers for a person to be able to identify the seasons for days and years. Now for us, we would call this light in the day, the greater light in the day, the sun, and the greater light in the night, the moon. Now the question is, did Yehovah give them that name? Did he not say that the light for the day and the light for the night? So where do we get the names from? Because for what I've read, Yehovah is he makes things so simple for us, but we as human beings on that search for what we call truth, or on that search for things, and trying to discover things, we make things sound, difficult. So let us examine the names of the suns and the moons. So we have not heard of the name for the greater light in a day, sun, until Abraham was in the midst of his blood covenant when he split the animals. So we're going to read that, and that is in Genesis chapter 15:17. "Now it came about when the sun had set, that it was very dark, and behold, a smoking oven and a flaming torch appeared, which passed between 2 pieces." Remember, Moses is the writer of Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy. And Abraham, before he was called, he was raised around people that were worshiping other gods, pagan lifestyles. And so was Moses when he was raised with the Egyptians. So they serve other gods. And this is where we get, all these sun gods and moon gods. So where do we get the name of the moon? moon. We don't find the name of the moon to be called moon until Joseph had his dream about his family. That's found in Genesis 37:9. Then he had yet another dream and informed his brothers of it, and he said, behold, I had yet another dream, and behold, the sun and the moon and 11 stars were bowing down to me. Again, Genesis 37:9. There was a light for the day and for a night. But you say, why do we look for the new moon for the month? Well, let's see what month actually means. So we're going to find this first time we see the word month is in Genesis 7:11. In the 600th year of Noah's life, in the second month and the 17th day of the month, on the day of all the fountains of the great deep burst open and the floodgates of the sky were open. So we didn't get the second month on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday because those are pagan names. So there wasn't, it wasn't even around then, but the sun and moon was. Month, you will look the word month up and you will find it in Strong's at H2320. Kodesh, which means month, which means new moon. It's the new moon. So in other words, the moon means month. Kodesh is the new moon. I'm sure man came up with the sun and the moon to understand the sky the best way they can understand it. Unfortunately, this is what led us to the sun god, the moon gods, and the different planet gods. I'm not saying that there's something wrong with saying the sun and the moon, but I noticed that those names did not come later. I just wanted to point that out. This is what Yehovah says. So we'll find this in Jeremiah. The sun and moon became common among everyone after that, because even Jeremiah speaks of the sun and moon. Jeremiah 31:35. This is what Yehovah says: he who gives the sun of light by day and the fixed order of the moon and the stars of light by night, who stirs up the sea so that its waves roar. Yehovah of armies is his name. So the sun and the moon is so common. It's a common language between people for the two great lights, the greater light in the morning and the greater light that shines at night, which we see that the sun gives the moon its light. So I also want to kind of understand the planets. I wanted to know if the planets are actually called planets. Somewhere in the Bible, can I find that anywhere in the Bible? But I do remember reading planets in the King James Version in, I believe it was 2 Kings, when I first seen the word planet. So I knew it was somewhere in the Bible. So I went searching for planets to understand what is the definition of actual planets. So when we do know that the word planets didn't come out into, that word didn't come into existence to the 1630s, and that came from the Greeks. And then we of course have the Romans and also some of the Greeks naming all these different planets and naming gods after these different planets. So, but I wanted to see what the planets mean, so I looked it up, and I found it in 2 Kings 23:5. And he put down the adulterous priests, whom the kings of Judah had ordained to burn incense in high places in the cities of Judah, and in the places around about Jerusalem. Them also they burned incense unto Baal, to the sun, and to the moon, and to the planets, and to all hosts of heaven. So I did look up that word planet, and I did not write it down, but I was curious, and that's some homework that you can do for yourself. But it's constellations, it's the stars. So the planets really wasn't called planets. It was called stars, but we identified them by giving them names. Later, the sun and moon got their names later. So did the planets got names later. So we're going to continue to see what else came later. I want us to examine the signs, the marks of the seasons and the days of years. When we read about the signs and signs and marks of the season, our automatically goes to summer, spring, fall, or winter. But let us find out what the seasons really mean in Hebrew. So I looked up the word season, and in Hebrew that is H4150 and strong, and it's moed. It's appointed place, appointed time, a meeting, set feast, and appointed season. So Psalms 104:19 says, he made the moon for the season. The sun knows the place of its setting. So we're looking for the appointed time. We're not looking for summer, spring, spring, fall, and winter. What we're looking for is his appointed time, which we don't see that actually come into until we get to the book of Exodus. So again, the seasons came embedded in the creation of the heavens and the earth. Leviticus 23:1 is when we start recognizing, start really getting an understanding of his appointed time. Yehovah spoke again to Moses, saying, "Speak to the sons of Israel and say to them, Yehovah appointed times which you shall proclaim as holy convocation. My appointed time are these." Now I advise you to read the entire chapter of Leviticus 23, the entire book of Leviticus, to really get the grasp of understanding of what's going on. It's not all about just the priest's work. The citizens had work too in the book of Leviticus. So the appointed times that Yehovah set in creation, you see it in Leviticus, you see it actually first shows up in Exodus in full effect. So these appointed time is Passover, unleavened bread, first fruit of the barley, feast of wheats, feast of trumpets, day of atonement, feast of tabernacles, all these great 8 day, all of these are appointed times, moed, seasons that are indebted into creation and was instituted as you start seeing in the book of Exodus. So this is what we find all in the 4th day. And the 5th day, Yehovah creates the flying birds, the flying insects, those that will fly in the open, those that will fly in the heaven. Then he given us the aqua, the water animals. He blessed them and told them to multiply. Both of these days began at evening and end in morning and was called a day. I hope you're enjoying our journey as we're going through the Torah studies and that we're taking our time, and I'm hoping that this will be a blessing to you. So don't forget to join me on Saturday at 10 o'clock a.m. We're starting season 2 of What Did Yeshua Teach? And don't forget to come by again on Tuesday at 7 o'clock p.m. as we continue our Torah studies. As always, man does not live by bread alone, but every word that proceeds out of the mouth of Yehovah. Have a blessed rest of the day. Thank you.